Welcome to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of Doberman Technologies, Ian Richardson, for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Carrie Richardson.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carrie Richardson. I'm a partner at Fox & Crow and your host for the Win podcast. With me today is Alec Stanners, the VP of Biz Dev for BVoIP and a veteran channel event organizer and attendee. How are you doing today, Alec?
I'm doing really well. Always a pleasure to get on with you and always happy to talk about events. So this is going to be fun.
You guys have been doing something interesting for the last 10 years, which I'm sure was not well received at the beginning, but it's just become de rigueur. Tell me about that transition.
I've done a lot of events with very big vendors, which is always fun and cool and great to be at the top of the chart there with all the resources. And then I've been on a startup side, and events are expensive and it's not always easy to stand out. So we took the startup mentality and did sweat equity. We put hard work into it, make something fun happen where we can bring everyone together. And that was born and really evolved into MSP Initiative, which is our secondary company. Goal there is networking, education, and really just fun. Can we bring a community together? Can we let everyone connect? And we heard time and time again, hallway chats are the most valuable thing for the MSPs. So we create another area for them to chat in.
So I had actually forgotten about the bus until just right
Yes.
now. I remember seeing you guys in Michigan when you
Yep.
came through in the bus in 2020 or 2021.
20 through 22, actually.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was a little
It was
different.
so different, but a lot of fun. We still today are meeting MSPs that met us on those tours. Just such a great time. For us, the world stopped, and those hallway chats are what drives this industry so much. MSPs are struggling with one thing or another and how to position something. It's not always the vendor's education that hits on it. Sometimes another MSP from across the country will give you some tips and tricks and help you get there. So when we saw everything stop, getting that tour bus going was our answer to it. It worked out really well, and we just had a lot of fun with it.
Tell me about the block party. We've had the block party on a yacht in Miami. It's been,
In Dublin, it's been on Darling Harbor in Sydney. More times than I'd like to count in Orlando.
oh,
We've rented out Live at the Fontainebleau. I mean, we've done lots of fun excursions there. We've gone to so many shows, and there's always that weird empty night. A couple of us will take out a prospect or two or a partner or two, and that's always great. I love those intimate kind of interactions. We still have those, but there's so many people who don't know where to go or don't have someone that they can go and meet with or have a crew that they can connect up with. So for all of them, it was kind of, oh, I'm just going to float off down the street and go to a Chili's and get a bite. Now it's all right, let's give them something fun and something real connected and central to do. Bring everyone together in an easy to go to platform where there's security and no safety risks. It's really come out to be a nice program.
we outgrew Blue
Yes.
Martini.
It's really incredible to watch what's grown. Blue Martini was pretty large for what it was. It was year one, it was 800 or 900 people in the building. Then we exploded into the next year with BB King's
Mm.
and Opa and that whole kind of crowd up there. And then that company unfortunately collapsed during COVID. One big management company owned pretty much the entire second floor. There was a third bar. Opa was separate, BB King's, and then there was another little one that was kind of a Italian, dimly lit, fun vibe. We worked with them and then Opa, and finally over to Icon Park, and we outgrew it. And really, what we had said was we wanted to bring in an act, and that was the next evolution of it. And that's been incredible. We've done a hurricane party with the All American Rejects, a pretty big main stage party with both Ezra Ray Hart, which was Sugar Ray, Better Than Ezra and Tonic. Last year was Flow Rider.
I missed that.
He was great. A pure entertainer, absolute stage show. We'll see if he makes another appearance down the road. He does
Hmm.
live at the Fontainebleau.
Really?
He won an $86 million lawsuit against Celsius for not reporting their income to him.
And now he lives at a hotel.
And now he lives there full time.
Amazing.
That is the dream.
His career has been exemplary.
He's really just put out an unbelievable amount of hits. We talked a little bit before this about how do we pick an artist, and that's such a process. And it really starts early in the year because these people book out more so now. When we started, and it was a little COVID-y, it was a little bit easier to get talent, but now you're definitely booking way out. Obviously, everyone's got their own personal taste, so you have to remove that from it, and you're going to Spotify. And when we did that, we were like, oh my God, the amount of hits that he had and the amount of views he had were just incredible.
I was on the vendor pre-call for PAX 8 and they were saying this year the party's going to be on the main floor. There's not going to be any issues with the floor.
That was a good one. They did a nice job. They had Nelly the year before, and he was great. He was a lot of fun too. I guess Rob had said to me he was only supposed to play for, I believe, 45 minutes, and he ended up playing like 75 minutes.
That was nice.
He loved the crowd and loved the energy, so he just kept going.
Are you doing something similar at Beyond this year? Is there going to be a block party?
There's not going to be a block party at Beyond this year. Our next upcoming block party, we have DattoCon Dublin, and then we teamed up with the team over at Roost to do their Flow conference. I've got DattoCon shortly after that as well over in Miami. Quite a few of those coming up in the spring and the fall.
So, what should we expect from BVoIP at Beyond this year?
We've been having a lot of fun with the PAX 8 team. We've teamed up with them on different sales initiatives, which has been great. PAX 8 never fully jumped into the communications arena until they had their locate program. We've taken that to a different angle with all the integrations we provide. It's been a great time working with their operations team. So it's a little bit different from your traditional VoIP route. We're speaking a lot more to what the MSPs are doing, from taking that communications, bringing in the tools they're using every day to run their business, and then how can they use all of that to make their business more efficient.
So,
And
you're
that
a member of the PAX 8 marketplace.
we are, yeah, absolutely. We launched in August of 23.
So, for first time attendees of Beyond, how should they approach the event to maximize their time and learning on site?
Yes, I hope you booked your room because it's just a massive property. And the last thing you want to do is be shuttling back and forth. But it really is a cool event. It's very well done. It's very well polished. They do a brilliant lounge, which is a nice place. That's probably the underrated spot of the event. They made a really great pockets of these unwind areas. If you need 15 minutes to answer emails or call back home, they did a really nice job of that and just really thoughtful throughout the process. It's a big agenda. There's a lot they're covering. They always do a really great job with the keynotes. So like that's number one on your list. The party, as we just touched on, don't miss that. Look at the tracks. Understand what's most important to you. Are you the Microsoft expert or are you the business owner? What's gonna do best for you and what are you gonna get the most value out of? But they do a nice job at splitting that up and making sure that everyone's covered in the business. That would be my focus is take the time now, iron out your schedule. If you can pre-sign up for breakouts, things like that, I would do it. I would arrive early. Most of them are generally standing room only. So if you want to sit, if you want to actually get in the room, get there early.
I've even seen that at the keynote. Like the keynotes are standing room only by the time the stage lights up. And they
Mhm.
always do such a great job with the AV there. Their content team is just extraordinary.
Eric Bowles had started that film program with them, and he's unbelievable with that kind of stuff. You continue to see them watch and take it up a notch. The beautiful presentation, the LED wall and the graphics, they just do a really nice job. And I'm excited to see what they have this year. Every year they bring something different, something new. And this year they'll be here in Amsterdam, which is fun.
Mhm.
It's cool to watch their global footprint keep growing. So I'm sure there'll be some info on that. We work with their Australia team pretty regularly, and that's been growing steadily. So it'll be fun to see.
How about for first time sponsors? What do we do to get a better return on what is a fairly pricey sponsorship?
Sponsorships in general have gone up a lot, and s- like the world we live in, everything's gone up in cost. So what can you do to make the most of it? I would say, first of all, look at the people you're sending. You want the personable person. You want the person that's going to connect. They're going to smile. They're going to draw people in. They're not going to go to bed early. On the other side of it, just be present. Wear your brand. Understand the minute you step onto that plane until the minute you step back off at home, you're representing your company. So wear your brand, be a part of that, have your pitch down, make sure everyone that's going has that pitch down and can explain the value that we're providing. I'll give a shout out to the team over at CyberQP. I remember a couple years ago when DattoCon was happening at the three different Miami hotels, everyone was worried about how that would impact their lead gain. They sat on the bus. They had two people that just rode the buses between the hotels. They ended up having probably another 30, 40, 50 conversations that
That's
further,
brilliant.
but you have to be outside the box and you're ready to pivot. I see it too often where people come in, they're a new vendor, and they're excited to be with each other. And I totally get that. As a remote company employee myself, I'm excited when I see my coworkers, and we love going out together and grabbing food. Leaving as just your team and getting dinner is a missed opportunity. grab MSPs with you. Don't spend 6 hours at the steakhouse. Eat the meal, come back, go to the lobby, buy a drink for some partners and prospects, have a good conversation, hopefully lead to good connections and tell the world what you do when buying these sponsorships. You got to look at it from that standpoint of how many people do we need to talk to, have a goal in mind, and be ready to hit that goal. If you're not hitting it, you realize you're not hitting it, what are you going to change on site to get there?
How do you know what the goal should be? If you have no KPIs from previous years to measure against, how do you set up a realistic target for your team on site?
Yeah, totally fair. So I'll give a big head nod to Beyond here. I think Beyond's been really great with their numbers. Not all events are. You and I both encountered that over the years. Beyond's one of the ones that I think are really on with the number, which has been great. So I think start with that, all right? How many people are supposed to be there? How much do we pay for it? Now, understand what your average sale price is. Now, how many of those do I have to sell to break even? Figure that number out. If it costs me $20,000 to be here, there's 1,000 people. I need 20 sales. What's my average close rate? Is it 50%? Is it 30%? Is it 10%? What is it? That'll tell you exactly how many leads you need to get from the booth to work your math backwards and get there. And then set a realistic goal for yourself. One thing I watch too often with new vendors is if we don't get this ROI back within 3 months, 6 months, we're pulling out of the whole industry. It makes it harder for new vendors. Poor new vendors will come in with no intentions of leaving and no one will trust them for 6 months. So have a realistic goal, have a realistic timeline, but also understand those pieces. And the last one I always talk to vendors about it. Who is your perfect sell? Is it a one-man MSP? Is it a 1,000-person MSP? What is it? And also understand that if you're just targeting the large MSPs, the PE-backed MSPs, those don't close overnight. At that point, you need to know that the company that you're being sold to from can scale with you. I think that's the biggest fear I hear from a lot of those MSPs and those partners that are in that range. They want to know that you can scale with them, that you're not going anywhere. That's still a fear of theirs as well. It's timely. It's very costly to put in a new tool. They know that, especially at that size.
If they're
Um,
pre-acquisition, what are the odds on them changing anything that's going to impact their margin,
mhm.
impact their organic growth path, or disrupt anything that's running smoothly? The last thing anyone
Yeah.
wants to do is jostle something that breaks something right when you're on the cusp of being that attractive target for a PE acquisition.
Where we see a lot of change in that realm, especially in communications, is we did 6 acquisitions. Everyone's on a different phone system. It's really clunky. So we're trying to evaluate what's the best one. You won't find that with every tool. There's not going to be a spread amongst PSAs. If I'm a ConnectWise MSP, I'm acquiring ConnectWise MSPs unless something's really incredible. If I have one MSP that we acquired that's using VoIP and one with Ring Central and another with 8x8 and everything else, I'm going to evaluate all of them and figure out what's the best one. I see that a good amount, but it's definitely tool specific. The more research you can do, the better. If you're listening to this and you're a new vendor, Carrie's got a whole litany of podcasts on other topics. Listen to as many of those as possible. Read as many books as possible and understand the business and the challenges these guys go through because no one ever puts themselves in somebody else's seat. You're picking up the phone, you're calling because you have a number to hit. That person on the other line might be dealing with a client that's down. Everyone gets frustrated with each other and everyone's in a different position. Everyone has something going on. The more you understand about their business, the more understanding you'll be to the situations you're dealing with. It'll lessen the frustration and also help you connect.
You can prioritize your best fit MSPs if you already know who they are,
Yep.
especially if you've got a very specific niche. Like we only work with healthcare specific MSPs. You're going to
Yep.
have a small subsection of the market, and you should be able to curate a list of the people who own those companies or lead
Oh,
those
yeah.
companies so that when you see them on site, you can swoop in and pay extra attention to the ones that you know are the exact right fit for your business.
Yeah, and on that topic, I'll just say in terms of pre-work that can help set you up for success, be vocal, be online, create videos, be fun, stand out. If you just write plain emails, no one's gonna read them. You gotta be different. You gotta be fun, be culturally relevant, right? Send a Last of Us email.
Spoil anything for me. We're
I
not
will
starting
not.
it until every episode is dropped.
This season is nuts. Just send out something fun that's just gonna catch your attention. That's gonna do a lot better than just a hey, buy from us because we're great. That sounds a lot like the last 9 emails I got.
And to wind this podcast down, buy from us. We're great.
Yes, absolutely.
It was great to
Seeing you in
talk to
Denver
you.
and
Look
always.
forward to seeing you guys. Sorry there won't be a party, but PAX 8 will host their own, so we're good there.
They always do a great job on parties, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. And there are already 2 parties going on in June, so plenty coming up.
All right. Well, thanks, Alec. Thanks for your insight, and we will see you in Denver. Take care.
You do.
You've been listening to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? We're so glad you've joined us and know you're one step closer to winning big in your business too. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to connect@rnr.consulting. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you'll easily know when new episodes are available. Until next time, you can win, and we're here to help.